Welcome to Six Figs. I'm Kyle. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Nervos Network, CKB. Now, follow these guys on X at Nervos Network, and we'll jump right into the news, and then we'll cover the charts. And I think you're going to like what I have to show you on the charts, especially fiber has arrived at Nervos Network, and they're doing all sorts of testing, working bugs out, and things like that. So once this gets all up to date, things should be really good. So they're actually doing some interesting things. Like I said, working the bugs out, and they're basically making some improvements where the fiber network can read transactions faster and things like that, and send multi-path payments, meaning instead of sending like one payment like across chain, it breaks up the payment into smaller blocks, if you want to call it that, and sends it that way. It can be a little bit faster to do it that way, especially when you have a lot of network usage, things like that. Rosen Bridge is excited to hear that Nervos Network is looking to utilize our open source bridge expansion kit to integrate Nervos CKB into Rosen Bridge. Now, what does Rosen Bridge do for Nervos Network? Well, it allows Nervos Network to all of a sudden connect to communities like Cardano or Ergo, Ethereum. And so this is going to be a great source for liquidity to enter into the Nervos Network ecosystem. It's going to allow cross-chain transfers and things like that. So this is going to be interesting to see where this thing goes, because I know that a while back it was voted on that they should look into this, and I know that it passed. So I'm hoping that now Rosen Bridge can get underway, at least maybe into the next year. Nervos Nation, guys, and follow these guys on X. And if you're looking to get into the CKB community, they've got a great Telegram group at Nervos Nation. That's their X handle. They got a great Telegram group, Nervos Nation. If you got any questions, just hop on in there and check it out. But Nervos Nation went on to say that CKB Off-Chain is a new initiative to bring together CKB supporters all over the world. So Nervos India had their first meetup. So that's great to see. The next stop is the USA. And the CKB Off-Chain event will be at Mining Disrupt. So I will be attending Mining Disrupt personally. I think it's going to be I've never been to a mining conference, so I'm very excited about this. It's November 11th through the 13th. I'll be there, and it looks like Nervos Network is a sponsor and will have a booth. So maybe I'll just hang out at the booth, shill CKB, or do some content and things like that. So it should be a lot of fun, and I'd love to see you there. It's in Dallas, Texas, November 13th. 11th through the 13th. So check it out. Give Mining Disrupt a follow. I think the tickets to Mining Disrupt are they're cheap. They're like $150 or something. So it's really nothing. Markets, everything's kind of pumping today. CKB, let's find out where this thing's at in the grand scheme of things. Rank 215. Okay. So right now we're sitting at a half a penny. And at the end of the day, things are actually looking very well, in my opinion, not financial or trading advice. But when you look at like CKB, and I haven't heard this term in a while, the term melt up. And I think we're at this point in time where we're all ready for this melt up to happen. And I do think there is a tremendous potential for this to happen. I just want to outline the circumstances before I kind of start drawing all these lines on this chart. In a few days, the Fed is going to vote to cut interest rates, and this allows people to borrow money cheaper than they already can. A lot of people are on fixed income, so this is a big deal. And when this happens, we see markets respond positively. And on top of all this, I mean, you could even argue that there is just this absolutely killer falling wedge maybe that is forming to boot. But then you've also got these harmonic patterns, which are these spotted red lines that you're seeing. And these are what's called like bearish sharks. Now you might hear the term bearish and think, oh no, this is not good. Well, bearish sharks tend to really pump the price. So with that said, there are a few catalysts that I'm looking at. And keep in mind that this is the weekly chart. So I don't want to see anybody in the comments whining and crying that my TA from 4 days ago hasn't pumped. This is going to take a long time. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this pump of a couple months, it took a couple months to pump this high. So meme coins pump overnight like that. But typically these blue chip projects like CKB, they kind of take their sweet ass time across the board. And so there's like this very nice inverse head and shoulders pattern that's playing out. You could also argue there's a nice bull flag that has formed here. And I do think that the low end, we're going to possibly see a penny-ish somewhere in there. And I do think, the higher end sort of thing, I mean, we're going to see hopefully this thing test 0.043. And we are seeing some really nice candlesticks here on the Heiken Ashi candles. We're seeing a doji star. And of course, there's 3 days, 21 hours. So this could close in a different pattern or a different formation, excuse me. But at this point, it looks like we're going to get a spinning top, a hammer, or a doji star. And these are always great to see on the charts because usually anytime you start to get spinning tops, it indicates price action is potentially getting ready to reverse. And this can go either way. You can get spinning tops, things like that when price starts pumping, etc. But you can see here's a doji star, price fell off. There's some traders that actually only trade doji stars, believe it or not. Let's just cover Bitcoin here. But I do think that Bitcoin's in some trouble. And I do think that it's going to rely heavily on these rate cuts. The one interesting thing about Bitcoin, of course, is the institutional side of things. This run is different. We said this back in 2021 as well, and 2018, because guess what? Every single run is different. Now, when we look at this, you're just like, oh my God, this is an insane rising wedge. You could argue that there's Elliott wave theory here without an ABC or ABCDE corrective wave, and possibly more Elliott wave theory on top of this. And we're seeing a very thin Ichimoku cloud, which tends to indicate that price is going to move through this cloud when it does rather easily. I think that this thing can only go so high, and we'll look at Bitcoin dominance in a second, before it has to breathe a little bit. So in the last bull cycle, we saw Bitcoin, man, I remember this. We saw it back in 2021, Bitcoin topped, and then it went on to retrace 55%. So we're seeing right now some really wicked harmonic patterns that are, maybe stripping this thing down to 64%. So will we see another 55? Let's just see, 55% is back down to about 54,000, 53,000-ish. So I do think that there's some potential here for price to move back down to that $64,000-ish level, believe it or not. If things get really bad, 43,000 according to this harmonic pattern. I'd say there's a 90% chance that could happen. But anyways, I do think that is Bitcoin. You got to be on the lookout for right now. And there is a very nasty rising wedge multi-year on Bitcoin, and people are acting like we haven't been in the bull run, guys, for a while, right? But guess what? We've been in the Bitcoin bull run, the bull run in general, since November 2022, when Bitcoin was at 15.5. Here we are a couple of years later. This is the bull run, guys. We need a melt up to happen here for all our alts. But anyways, getting back to the dominance side of things, we're seeing the same thing, rising wedge. And I've been telling you guys about this dominance issue that I've been seeing for the last 6 months. I've been telling you guys that this is where it's going to execute. So we're going to see Bitcoin really start to drop off. We got a very nasty bear leg, and we got a nasty flagpole here and a nasty pennant. And this is often a sign of a continuation pattern. So I'm expecting this next move to maybe bring the dominance down to the 200 moving average. And I do think that there might be a reversal at some point once this 50 death crosses, and then we might be able to see another rally, maybe back up to all-time highs again. Hit me up on X if you found any of this helpful, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.